Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We welcome you to in Quran in tonight's Taraweeh, just summary number 13 that I will be going over. My name is Faraz Khan, inshallah. I'd like to point out our gratitude to Imam Sohaib Sultan for doing an excellent job in covering the last few juz. So after Surah Yusuf, we go into Surah Al-Ra'd. And this is a beautiful surah. Again, the concept behind these Mekki surahs or Mekki chapters is that the Prophet ﷺ is warning the Meccans about the day that is coming, the day of judgment, which they are in denial of. And so the Prophet ﷺ is giving them the good news, glad tidings of Jannah, and he's also warning them about a punishment in the hereafter. And a beautiful statement that is mentioned, and by the way, the name of the surah derives from that statement or ayah, is وَيُسَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ خِيفَتِهِ, till the end of the ayah, that the thunder glorifies and praises Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out loud. And this is just simply one word to describe the case that will be happening in the hereafter, as well as a case of a believer. Because when you hear the thunder, people tend to have this fear, but they also have at the same time a hope. The fear because of the shocking noise or the lightning that comes along with the thunder, but also there's hope that the rain is coming. So it will take care of the farmlands, the vegetation, the trees, the cattle, the people who need water. So all of this is fear and hope that is shown in the Quran in one beautiful statement, that God is the one that the thunder is actually praising and glorifying. And in this ayah again, the Prophet ﷺ is told as إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرٌ, that you are, all you have to do your job, Muhammad ﷺ, is that you are a warner, nothing more. You're not over them to call them to an account. It's not your responsibility to guide these people. All you have to do is to just simply warn them about the day of judgment. Also, in another beautiful, and so that is the connection, the overlying theme of the surah, and we have to pay attention to that inzar, or that warning that the Prophet ﷺ's job is described in the surah. The other thing I want to talk about, and the very important ayah that we have often heard, and you have to know the context of each ayah to understand, gain a better understanding of what Allah is talking about. Sometimes we try to fit ayahs and the meanings of the ayat into our context. But believers, we have to pay special attention to the context that it was revealed, so that we have a better understanding. So one of the ayats that we have talked about is إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. It's a beautiful ayah which says that God shall not change the condition of a people unless they change what is within themselves first. And this again, in the context is that it talks about people, that they have to accept the message of God. They have to accept Islam. They have to accept the truth. They have to accept the message of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And once they do that, God would change their conditions to better condition. And He shows them all the ayat, all the signs, so that they accept the message of God. But they have to do that first. God is not saying that I have given you a brain, I've given you all the capabilities, and then you say, oh, if God had wished this for us to happen, then it would have happened. We would have been guided. But that is a bogus claim, because the Quran says you have to take that first step. You have to come to God. You have to walk to the masjid. You have to open the Quran. You have to perform wudu and perform salah. You have to take the first step. God is there, because He mentions in many other ayat, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Remember me, I shall make mention of you, because He reminds us that we have to remember Him. He already knows us and our condition. So this is a beautiful statement that we must not forget the context and as to why these ayat were revealed. One of the other important ayat, and all of them are important as we are talking about the 13th juz, is the last ayat that talks about that these kuffar, they say, وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا. Those people who have performed kufr, they say, nothing was sent. You were not sent. The message was not given. قُلْ and the direct command is given to the Prophet. Whenever you hear the word qul, it means attention is drawn of the Prophet ﷺ, and he's being told to convey this word to word. And the Prophet simply, he copies the word qul also, and that's how we have the revelation received. And he says, so the statement is kafa billahi shahidan baini wa bainakum. God is sufficient as a witness between me and you. Wa man indahu ilmul kitab, and the one who possessed the knowledge of the book, meaning the knowledge of the scripture. So people have been told that this is a book from Allah, and go ask the people of scriptures, the Bible, the Old Testament, New Testament, the Jewish community, the Christian community. They're also clear about the signs of the Prophet ﷺ. Last few, inshallah. This is the next surah, Surah Ibrahim. I would really want you to actually read the translation of Surah Ibrahim today before going to the Taraweeh prayer. In it, you would also recognize the often recited dua, Rabbi ij'alni muqim as-salah wa min dhurriyyati Rabbana wa taqabbal du'a Rabbana ighfir li wa liwalidayya wa lil mu'minina yawma yaqumul hisab. What is the meaning of it? Oh Allah, make me, and he's praying about his progeny, Ibrahim alayhi salam, make me and my progeny steadfast on the prayer. Make us steadfast on the prayer. And forgive me and my parents and the believers on the day of accountability. So this is the dua of Ibrahim that we often repeat, and it's very important that we recognize that we make dua for believers as well. And this is one of the most beautiful duas that you have. In it, in the Surah Ibrahim, a scene is shown, the final scene basically, and people would come on the Day of Judgment, and they would blame, and the whole description of the scene is given, and then the people would say it's Shaitan's fault basically, and they would cast their blame on Shaitan. You know how people, they say, oh, the devil's, he did it. And even on the Day of Judgment, people would be there and they would do that. Now, we've never heard devil talk back, right? Shaitan doesn't say, oh, well, why do you blame me often for your bad deeds, right? He doesn't talk to us. But the Quran actually talks about what the devil is going to say on the day. And it's very interesting what he says. He says, وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانِ, and the Shaitan had said, لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ, after the matter has been decided, people are going to Jannah and people are going to hellfire. Shaitan would say, Inna Allah wa'adakum wa'adal haq. God promised you, and his promise was in truth. Wa'adtukum, and I promised you, meaning Shaitan promised you something. Fa'akhlaftukum, and I did the exact opposite of what I promised. وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُم مِّن سُلْطَانٍ إِلَّا أَن دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. I never possessed any power over you. All I did was gave you a da'wah. Da'awtukum, I gave you a call, and you accepted my call. And when you did that, فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, do not blame me, Shaitan. Do not blame the Satan, the devil. Blame yourself, because you are accountable. You are the one who performed these actions. مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِكُمْ وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِي. I am not going to carry this day your burdens, and you're not going to carry my burdens. إِنِّي كَفَرْتُ بِمَا أَشْرَكْتُمُونِي مِنْ قَبْلِ. And I deny everything that you used to commit shirk and before, meaning the Quraysh, how they used to do shirk. And then إِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. The statement has been mentioned that the transgressors would have, the zalimeen, the oppressors would have a chastising punishment. These are the statements coming from Shaitan. Don't blame him on that day. Blame yourself if we haven't been able to commit to what is important in our lives, what is important that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us. And this is a statement that we should remember, that the game plan that he has is that he calls us to evil. He calls us to bad things. And the best of planner, the best of safeguard is remembering Allah. And that's how you cast away Shaitan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. You seek protection of Allah. And once you do that, once you call on Allah, shaitan runs away from that space. So we have to recognize that. Our children also have to recognize shaitan is with every sin, every evil, every bad thing, every bad talk, every foul thing that there exists. Shaitan is that in that area. And every good thing that you do and every good word that you say and the mentioning of the best of the names and best of words, meaning the name of Allah, shaitan's away from that scene. So we have to remember that there's an entire description of what will happen on the Day of Judgment in Surah Ibrahim. So I ask you to actually read the surah, inshallah, just the meaning of it and see what it's talking to us about. The next surah is Surah Al-Hijr, and that is the rock. It talks about, and this goes into Surah chapter Juz number 14, and we will talk about that inshallah next time. I remind you, myself and you as well, about this book of Allah that we have actually been given. The Prophet ﷺ and all the prophets are gone. They were the people, Nadir, they were people who warned people, and now it's our job to warn humanity. But the Quran calls us not only to believe in the book, to read the book, but also to comprehend the book, to understand the book, to act upon the commands of this book, and to take this book just like the Prophet ﷺ was a guide and called people to the truth and called people to patience. This is what the community of believers are called upon, to call people to the truth and call people to remind them about the day that is coming. So let us straighten our acts, let us be upright and people of character and morals and people who trust in Allah. وَأَقُولُ قَوْلِي هَذَا وَأَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ وَلِسَائِرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ. I pray for you and you pray for me, inshallah, as we get close to breaking our fast. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the good deeds that we do in His name. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.